Well, good morning. Today is Thursday, August 26th, so it's time for our weekly meeting highlights. So we always start off with see how I did for the week. I weigh myself once a week, so let's see how I did today. 2 pounds. I gained 2 pounds. My total loss is 76.4 pounds. I was so hoping to get to that 80 pounds this week. Um, if you watch my daily vlog, you know that I've ate out twice this week. So that's a high sodium gain, any way you look at it. And I had a really good loss last week. I lost over 3 pounds last week. I think I lost 3.2. I usually follow it with a gain the following week, and I know that's all on my fault, on my part, is because I have that outlook, like, you know, well, next week I'm going to have a gain. And so I kind of go with that mentality for the whole week, and always prove myself right. I don't know why I do this. I really don't know why I do this. But I'm going to be smack-a-lackin' strong this week. I was in a contest last year, or the year before, 2019, and I did really well. And so I put this shirt on for inspiration today because I want to get back on track. My birthday, as you know, is a week from Tuesday. Part of me just wants to wait until the 8th to start again. But then I know how much damage I can do between now and then. Between today's the 26th, so 5 and 8, within the next 2 weeks, I could do a lot of damage. And so, no, that's not my plan. My plan is just to get back on track starting today, and I have every intention of doing that. I'm looking for a new plan for September. I always do that. I had a plan for July. I had a plan for August. You got to have a plan every once in a while. You just do. So that's my plan. But anyway, how appropriate today's topic is. Headed to the scale, make an action plan first. That's what I need to do. It's just to try this. Create a scale action plan so you're confident every time you weigh yourself and you can respond to whatever it says. I didn't like seeing the 2-pound gain. Nobody likes to see a gain. But I think you have to acknowledge why it happened, and I acknowledge that I gave myself permission last week when I thought, you have a great loss, that means that next week you're going to have a gain. And I fulfilled my promise to myself. I really did. I promised myself that I would gain. Maybe not saying it out loud, but I had the attitude that I was going to gain. And my action plan was, you know what, you might as well do what you want because you know you're going to gain next week, because whenever you have a tremendous loss, you have a big gain the following week. So I believed what my mind was telling me, and I had a gain. So I have to get that thought out of my mind. So maybe that's my theme for September. Maybe I just thought of that just now, is remembering how powerful my mind is and to put better thoughts in my mind. So they give you some different tips that you can do. So number one, they said, think about what you will do to put into your plan. When, where, and how often will you weigh yourself each week? Now, I only weigh myself once a week. Maybe for September, I'm going to weigh myself every day. I'm still thinking on that because, as we know, the scale fluctuates every day for the various reasons. And so I could think I did really well one day, and maybe I'll get on the scale the next day and it won't show a loss like I think. Why is it that, you know, like if you do really well one day and then you get on the scale and you think, I did really well yesterday, how come I didn't lose a whole pound? You know, I could put on a pound overnight. It's trying to lose a pound overnight is a little bit harder. So I think I might consider that as one of my things, just for September, weigh myself once a day, at the same time every day. So my weigh-in on Thursdays is at 10:30 in the morning. So maybe I will plan on weighing myself every morning at 10:30 in the morning for the month of September to see if that makes a difference. The second thing is, how will you boost your confidence before stepping on the scale? Once again, realizing that your weight fluctuates every day for various reasons. So I'm going to have to remind myself, if I do choose to use that action plan, that just because I did really well yesterday and it might not reflect on the scale today, it might reflect on it tomorrow. So I need to remind myself of that. What will you say to yourself when you're entering your weight in the WW app? Next week I'm going to do better. I always put, when I put that in the app, I always say that whether I had a loss or a gain, I always say, next week I'm going to do better. And I really do have the full intention of every week, next week I will do better. But maybe in the summer I don't have 100% confidence in that thought. I always do better in the fall and winter for some reason than I do in the spring and summer. But I don't know. That's something I need to think about too. And then the last thing they say on this particular point is, what will you do after weighing yourself? I have a journal. I have a calendar journal where I just, like one of those planners. It's in a, like a little thing that you get at Hallmark, you know, every year. They don't give them away for free anymore. This was the first year that they didn't give them away for free. I had to go to the dollar store and buy one. I had to spend a whole $1 on myself. But anyway, I write in there what I did, just like quick little snippet notes, you know, like I always write in there when I eat out. I put in there when I get a haircut. Once a week I put in how much I weigh, things like that. So for September, I'm just going to plan on my planner, writing down my weight each day and see how I do. Okay, number 2 is assemble your plan. So you need to tell yourself, I'm going to weigh myself on, like this one would be like on like Thursdays at what time? Like right now I weigh myself on Thursday mornings at 10:30. I'm going to say I'll weigh myself every day at 10:30. And the second, then they want to say, before I step on the scale, I will not hold that number too much to heart. Whether it's good or bad, just don't hold that number too much to heart. Number 3 is, I'll say blank before I enter my weight in the app. Well, I'm not going to enter my daily weight in the app if I do choose to go that way. I'll enter it in my calendar. But once a week I still will put it in my WW app. But I'm going to say to myself, it's one day. We'll see how much better I can do tomorrow. Or see if I can progress tomorrow. And then the last thing is, after I weigh myself, I'll think about my healthy choices for the day. I'll put right here a little screenshot of this particular little thing, and maybe you can screenshot it yourself and print it off, or write it down for yourself, make your own little notes. Maybe you can use this as a helpful guide for yourself. Because I think that's a pretty good idea. Then they tell you, dive a little deeper. Want to keep tabs on your weight but are having a tough time getting on the scale? You may avoid weighing yourself so you won't feel discouraged. I can tell you right now, that's not the way to go. That really is not the way to go, because just because you're not weighing yourself doesn't mean that you're not getting bigger or smaller, as the case may be. We all like to think, if I only weigh myself once a month, I'll get on there and I'll see a bigger number. Well, that's true, but is it always going to be the bigger number going down, or is it going to be the bigger number going up because you haven't really been accountable to yourself? I think that we don't want to stress about our weight, but we also don't want to ignore our weight. So whether you're at your perfect weight right now or you're trying to get to your perfect weight, you should weigh yourself at least once a week, at the same time, with the same clothes on and the same scale in the same place, all of that good stuff. Because like I said, your body changes every day for various reasons, but you do need to hold yourself a little bit accountable, because I would say that even the thinnest person, even the person that's the most fit, still weighs themselves once a day. Mr. Rogers, I watched the documentary on Mr. Rogers, weighed himself every day before he went swimming, and he always weighed 142 pounds. And he loved that number because I think it means, I thought somehow the number meant I love you. I don't know how, I forget how that came about, but I remember that. But he always wanted to weigh 142, and he always prided himself on the fact that every time he weighed himself, he weighed 142. And he was a very fit person, but I think the reason he stayed fit was because he was conscious of his weight, knowing whether it was going up or down. If you don't pay attention to what your weight is, it's known as the ostrich effect, because, well, haven't we all put our heads in the sand at some point in our life? It could be about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about weight. You might have a bill that's coming due and you don't have the money, and you think, if I just ignore it, it'll go away. No, it's not going to go away. You might have some health issues that you're afraid to go to the doctor for because you think, well, if I don't go to the doctor and he doesn't confirm what I think is wrong with me, then it's not going to happen. We're all guilty of putting our heads in the sand at some point in our life. At some point in our life. I can say that I think that everybody at one point in their life kind of thought if they ignored something it would just go away. But it doesn't. It's there. It's there plain in sight. You just got to look for it. A scale action plan can help you before, during, and after you weigh yourself so you can feel more confident, better respond to your challenges, and continue to make healthy choices regardless of the number. I made some poor choices, but I also made some smart choices during the week. I didn't have 7 days of bad choices. I had 2 days of bad choices, but I had 5 days of good choices. Can you only imagine how much worse it would have been if I wouldn't have had those good days? I try to be on it 100%. Not being all doom and gloom, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that I'm never going to be 100% on this plan. I just never was. Even when I first started, and I was doing really well, and I really looked forward to my weigh-ins, I was not 100% on plan. I never was. We're all going to kind of sway a little bit. Something's going to come up that's going to tempt us. It's kind of hard to go out. It's not impossible, but it is kind of hard to go out and eat and stay within your points. It can be done. I know that. I know it can be done. I have done it in the past. I still have to get over the mentality of, like, when I go to a certain restaurant, that this is my favorite meal and I'm going to have it no matter what. I am not making any substitutions. I have to get past that mindset, and I'm working on it. I truly am working on it. But as a reminder, weigh yourself weekly or daily, but if you do it daily, only once a day. Don't think like, well, if I weigh myself at 9 o'clock, maybe at 11 o'clock, you are going to weigh different at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. It just stands to reason, whether you had something to eat or drink or whatever, gone to the bathroom, whatever, it's going to fluctuate. So only weigh yourself once a day. Stick to the same time of day, on the same scale, wearing the same clothes. And if you're a member of like a gym or anything, try to use their scale if you think it'll be a little bit more accurate. Or invest the money in a really good scale, because don't get a scale like if you lean to the left or lean to the right, stand up, sit down, shout, 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 or fight, fight, fight. That's what it is. Lean to the left. No, lean to the left, lean to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. I was never a cheerleader. But anyway, some scales, you don't get a good enough scale. You can do that. If you invest in a really good scale, it doesn't matter how you get on it, how many times you get on it, it's going to give you an accurate weight. And that's the scale you need. Back in 2000, when I was going to start the new millennium, is that it? In 2000, I was going to be on a weight loss program. Jim bought me a doctor's scale, like in the doctor's office where you clunk the little numbers over and that. And that is very accurate. Trust me, even after 21 years, it's still very accurate. And it gets right to the quarter pound. And I have that scale, but I also have a E-Tech City scale, which is a digital scale, which I mostly weigh myself on the digital scale because Jim weighs himself on the other scale, and I just don't move the numbers. He leaves the number on where it was the last time he weighed. So, but it was a very good investment. It really was. And when I do want to get into the next set of numbers, when I get close, I get on that scale, because my goal was, like, when I was over 300, is to click it over to the 250 clunker, clunk. And then my next goal was to clunk it to the 200, clunk. And I am at that 200 clunker right now. My next goal is to clunk it to the 150. So that's what I'm working at right now. When you're weighing yourself, reflect on a non-scale victory, blast a favorite song, or try some mindful breathing. I don't know about playing the music and stuff like that, but I do like to sing every day, so maybe that's what I'm going to do. When logging in your results, repeat encouraging words like, the scale is only one measure of the success, or I am strong. The number really doesn't define me. So I gained 2 pounds. I don't look like an ogre now. You're not going to where did the 2 pounds go on? You can't really tell. It's over distributed over the rest of my body. You know it's there, but somebody else, if I didn't tell you I gained 2 pounds this week, you wouldn't have known just by looking at me. I know it though, so you just have to acknowledge that you know it. And after you're done, do something that's good for you, such as having a glass of water or taking a walk. A go-to routine can help you move closer to your goals. Well, I've got my water. I always drink my water because I find that water really does help me out tremendously. And it does kind of, helps you. Like if you really think you're hungry, drink some water, because sometimes 9 times out of 10 they say you're just thirsty, which is true. I just like plain water, but some people like flavored waters. They like throwing lemons or cucumbers or limes or stuff in their water, or get the Crystal Light, things like that. Anything that you need to do to get your water in, do it. I like plain water, which we had a scare because in my community they sent the wrong, instead of sending fluoride, they sent some kind of poison. I forget what it was. Anyway, when they took the lid off before they were ready to pour the fluoride into the water, it started steaming, and then they realized it was the wrong stuff, wrong chemical, which would have poisoned the water supply. Which makes, because I don't like bottled water, but now I'm thinking, do I really want to get water out of the tap? But they did catch it, so. But it was a scare. It was a scare, let me tell you. The recipe for this week is Fennel-sage pork burgers with provolone and sautéed peppers. I've never had a pork burger. It's 7 points on all plans, which isn't bad. If you added the bun, though, that would really bring it up. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is like when I have my hamburgers, is try not to have the bun, which is really what makes the burger. But this calls for olive oil, some peppers, a red onion, some fennel seeds, salt, pepper, sage, garlic, pepper flakes, ground pork, provolone, grain mustard, and they counted the hamburger buns, 4 light hamburger buns. So serving size is 1 burger. How many pounds of thing did it say? Oh, pound. Yeah, so it's a 1/4 pound burger. That's a pretty good sized burger. I don't know. It's something to consider because it does look good. I will think about that one. So anyway, 2-pound gain. I lost a total of 76.4 pounds. I'm still kind of proud of that fact. I'll get there. I'll get there. I know I will. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it. As always, stay safe. Never doubt yourself. Please, please, please never doubt yourself. We got this.